Okay, continuing with our video lessons. Okay, today's video lesson number 12, and we're going to review the law of sines. Okay, so according to the law of sines, okay, remember that we can combine the angles and the sides that are opposite to that side. Okay, but remember, when do we apply the law of sines? Okay, because we had another formula, okay, that we can use, for example, like the Pythagorean theorem. But remember, Pythagorean theorem is used for right angles. Okay, right triangles. Right triangles are the ones that have a right angle that measures exactly 90 degrees. Okay, so the law of sines is the rule that we're going to follow whenever we don't have a right triangle. Okay, so this can be applied to any type of triangle as long as we have, okay, at least the minimum measurements of two sides in one angle or two angles in one side. Okay, but we need three elements to be able to use the law of sines, and we can combine them, okay, as we need depending on what information we already have. Okay, because we can combine angles A and side A with angle C and side C, or B and C, or A and B. Okay, it all depends on what we already have. Okay, so let's do some examples so that we can know exactly how to apply the law of sines. Okay, so on the first one, we're going to have side A is going to be 7, side B is going to be 9, and the measurement of angle A is going to be 55. Okay, so we're going to use the law of sines to find, okay, side C. We're going to find angle B, angle C, and side C. Okay, so we need three elements to find three other elements. Okay, so let's start working. We already have the angle A and side A, and we have side B, but we don't have angle B. Okay, so the first two that we're going to combine are these two. Okay, so sine of A, which is 55 in this case, okay, and that we put it over side A, which is 7. Then we equal to sine of B. We don't have sine of B, so we put it like this. And then, do we have side B? Yes, 9. Okay, and once we have these two, we cross-reference them to work on them. Okay, so this one is dividing, it comes to this side, multiply. So 9 sine of 55 is equal to, this is 7, is dividing. I move it to the other side, multiply. Okay, oh wait, sorry. Actually, I can leave it on this side. Sorry. Let's leave it here because that's where we need it. Okay, and this side we only have sine of B. So now what do? We bring our calculators and we do this number. Okay, so we bring our calculators and we have sine of 55, sine of 55, okay, times 9 divided by 7. Okay, so the number is 1.05. Okay, so we have 1, wait, which, oh, here. 1.05 is equal to sine of B. Okay, so here is where we have to move the trigonometric function sine to the other side. Now, since we are separating it from the angle, this converts to a inverse operation. Okay, so now we're going to have inverse sine. Okay, remember that the representation of the inverse is to the negative 1 of 1.05. Okay, and that is going to be the measurement of angle B. So the measurement of angle B is going to be the inverse sine of this number. Okay, so the inverse sine of the answer, 1.05, error. Okay, so that means that the inverse sign of this number is not defined. Okay, now this is where it gets a little interesting because we didn't do any any empty sets for these exercises. Okay, so whenever we don't have a value, okay, for the inverse of a certain number, then that means that this triangle cannot exist under these numbers. Okay, now we didn't do this one of these in class, so that's why I wanted to start, okay, with this number. Now let's see if we can find any other function. Now we can't, because here we don't have an angle. Okay, so if we don't have this angle, that means that this angle doesn't exist, this angle doesn't exist, and this side doesn't exist. Okay, so this is one of the exercises where we can have an empty set. So that means that even if we have certain values, okay, for the given sets, we might have an empty set. Okay, now let's do an exercise where we have some answers. Okay, I wanted to start with this one so that we can get it out of the way. Okay, so if I put you one of these exercises in a test, then you need to do this process so that you can find that this angle does not exist. And once you know that this angle doesn't exist, then we know it's an empty set. Okay, but you have to follow the procedure. Okay, so let's do one from the book. Okay, let's see. If you want to follow the book, okay, it's on page 143. Okay, we're going to do letter B, the one that's here. Okay, so let's copy the elements that we have. Okay, we have B equals 4. We have that C equals 2. And the measurement of angle B is equal to 48. Okay, so from this information, we have to find angle C, angle A, and side A. This is what we need to find using the law of sines. Okay, so let's start working. Okay, B is equal to 4, C is equal to C. So we have measurement of B, measurement of C, and we have the angle B. So that means that we're going to use sine of B, side B, sine of C, side C. Okay, so sine of 48 divided by 4 is equal to sine of C divided by 2. Okay, I moved this 2 to this side, so I have 2 sine of 48 divided by 4 is equal to sine of angle C. Okay, so let me put it here. Sine of angle C. Okay, we bring our calculators. Sorry. And then we have sine of 48, 0.7, times 2, 1.48, divided by 4, okay, 0.37. Okay, 0.37. And then we apply the inverse sine, okay, of this number, 0.37, and then we have the inverse sine of this answer, 21.81. Okay, and there we have, this is, remember, this is the measurement of angle C. 21.81. And I'm going to put it here. Okay, remember that it comes from here. The inverse sine of 0.37, and that's it. Okay. Okay, so now we have two angles. Now remember, since we already have two angles and this is a triangle, that means that the measurement of the three angles has to be 180. So we can already find angle A. So if I have one angle is 48, the other angle is 21.81. Okay, this is 69.81 minus 180. The other angle is going to measure 110.19. Okay, now we already have three angles, but now we need side A. Okay, so I'm going to use sine of A over A and sine of B over B. I can use C also. If I already have it, I can use C. I have C and I have C. But I can use either one. Okay, so let's work on this one. Okay, so sine of A, which is going to be sine of 110.19 divided by A, which is the side that I don't have. Okay, and this is equal to sine of B, which is 48 divided by B, which is 4. Okay, so here this 4 comes here to multiply, this A goes to here to multiply. So we have A times sine of 48 equals to sine of 110.19 times 4. And this sign is multiplying. I move it to this side, dividing. Okay, so I'm going to have sine of 110.19 times 4 divided by sine of 48. Remember that this sign, when I move it to this side, I don't have to put the inverse. Okay, because this is only multiplying and I'm putting them together. If I separate the sign from the 48, then I will have to use the inverse. Okay, but here we don't. Okay, so what is going to be the measurement of A? Okay, so sine of 110.19, okay, 0.9 times 4, 3.75, and this is divided by the sine of 48, 5.05. 5.05. And there I have all my answers. Look, I put it here, 5.05. And now I have the measurements of B, of C, of A, and then angle A, angle B, angle C. Okay? And that is how we work the law of sines. Let's do another one. Let's do this one looks interesting. Letter D. Okay, so letter D from page 143. Look at the elements that we have. We have side A, 3. Measurement of angle A, 120. Measurement of angle B, 20. Okay, so what do we have to find here? Here we have to find B, we have to find C, and we have to find the measurement of angle C. Now look at what we have here. From the beginning, we already have the measurements of two angles. So that means that immediately we can find the measurement of angle C. Okay, so if one angle is 120, the other is 20, and the addition is 180, we are missing 40. So we already have the measurements of the three angles. Okay, remember, the measurement of the three angles of a triangle have to be 180. Okay, so now we work law of sines. Okay, so I'm going to use angle A and side A. So that's going to be sine of 120 divided by A, which is 3. And then I can use either one. Let's use B. Sine of B, which is 20 over side B. Okay, this one goes here to multiply. This one goes to here, multiply. So I have B sine of 120. And then we have 3 sine of 20. Sine of 120 goes to the other side. So I have 3 sine of 20 divided by sine of 120. Okay? So this is how I'm going to find side B. Okay? So first, sine of 20. Okay, sine of 20 here. Okay, so it's 0.34 times 3. 1.02 divided by the sine of 120. 1.18. Okay, this is the measurement of side B. Okay, so I put it here, 1.18. And then I use sines again. Okay, sine of A is 120 divided by 3. And I'm going to use sine C and side C. So it's going to be sine of 40 divided by C. Okay, so this one moves here. C sine of 120. 3 moves here multiplying. 3 sine of 40. This one is multiplying. I move it to divide. So I have 3 sine of 40 divided by sine of 120. Sorry, here. Okay, so C is going to be sine of 40, this number, times 3, 1.92, divided by the sine of 120, 2.22. Okay, so here I have my final answer, and I move this number here, 2.22. And look, we already have side B, side C, and angle C. Okay? So, this is how we use the law of sines. Okay? Remember to check the link under this video. You'll find exercises that you will need to hand in. If you have any questions, please let me know.